Hello friends, this is Adam with Movie Guy 365, and today I'm going to review the 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray edition of Bodies, Bodies, Bodies. If you're new to the channel, please hit the like button, subscribe, hit that bell notification. You can also find me over Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd at Movie Guy 365. Okay, Bodies, Bodies, Bodies is here on 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray, released by Lionsgate. As of this recording, it can only be found as the 4K edition at Best Buy retailers. Now, when it comes to the film itself, I watched the initial trailer, and I have to say I was somewhat interested, but, it didn't really, it just looked like it was going to be one of those teen slasher films, but when I noticed that A24 was putting this out, who I am a big fan of their movies, I gave this one a second look, and it made me a little bit more interested. So after watching the film, I think it actually really works. Of course, it is not going to be a straight up horror film. In fact, I wouldn't call it a horror movie at all. It's definitely a thriller. But I would say it's a satirical look at Generation Z. And it is chock full of the buzzwords that we all hear today on Twitter and TikTok and all sorts of, social media. But it's not used in a way to kind of just tell the story. It actually has like a deeper meaning behind all the characters and what they're going through. And you may not relate to any of the characters in the movie. I really didn't. But I feel that the satirical nature of the film, it just shines a light on that whole, generation. And I think the ultimate resolution works. I really enjoyed it. Even though I'm not the biggest Pete Davidson fan, I thought he did a fine job. And, some of the other actors and actresses are a little bit lesser known. I think they also did good with the material they had. I did enjoy it. Is it something I'll go back to very often? Maybe once, maybe twice, I don't know. But I would say give it a try. Don't go into it thinking it is a straight, thriller. It has a lot of subtext and layering to it. And once again, I think the ultimate payoff is more than worth it. All right, we're going to talk about the picture quality and the audio in just a moment. But first, let's do a quick unboxing. Okay, we have the 4K Ultra HD slipcover edition of Bodies, Bodies, Bodies. As far as artwork goes, essentially pretty much floating heads, but, after watching the movie, it kind of makes sense. Especially with all the cell phones and lighting and everything. And then we have the back, and then the spine. And interior, same deal. And then that's it. Real basic. No frills. Now let's talk about the picture quality and the audio. Bodies, Bodies, Bodies on 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray has a 239:1 aspect ratio with a 4K digital intermediate and HDR10 and Dolby Vision for the grading. For purposes of this review, I will be discussing the Dolby Vision encode. Shot digitally, the film's transfer is not the cleanest I've ever seen considering how new the movie is. During some of the darker scenes, there is a bit of digital noise that creeps in. I found it to be very noticeable. And let's face it, it's not going to be held in the same manner or gravitas as, let's say, film grain, but aside from that, the 4K DI is serviceable. Colors produce very strong results. The opening and closing minutes of the movie feature day scenes which are very striking visually. For the bulk of the movie, the interior of the house features a somewhat wide variety of color designs that are nice to look at, with additional lighting enhancements such as Alice's glow necklace or where Greg is meditating. Outfits also look bolder, once again highlighted more in the daytime scenes, but there certainly isn't any deficiency in the color department on this 4K disc. Black levels are done fairly well, but to my eyes, the digital noise feels like it gets in the way from really getting into the atmosphere the film tries to convey. I never feel levels really hit inky territory though, which could either be an artistic choice or limitations of the cameras being used. Either way, it is what it is. When the house goes dark, for instance, cell phone lighting often is used to illuminate the characters so details are still visible. Thankfully, despite the less than perfect black levels, I didn't notice any signs of black crush. Textures do have some good depth. Close-ups showcase all sorts of details and facial features, gory gashes or cuts, and general improvements to clothing. Mid-level scenes enjoy benefits as well. Bodies, Bodies, Bodies on 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray supports a Dolby Atmos audio mix. The audio experience is very enjoyable and actually pretty immersive. The film has an ongoing hurricane as part of the plot, and it factors into some pretty cool surround sound activity. Mid-level and rear speakers have some solid offerings audio-wise, which result in good dynamic output. Heights also have some mostly complementary action with a solid mixture of ambience and atmosphere. When the various characters are moving around the house, some great noises can be heard, and weather effects add to the immersion nicely. Dialogue sounded good, but I found a few instances of levels being inconsistent. One moment involving Alice, Jordan B, and Sophie in a discussion, it felt like their voices were mixed a little bit on the low side. This instance was an outlier, but generally dialogue was clear. The low-end rumbles and hums at musical beats, storm activity, and other choice moments. The bass seems to stay in its lane and never approached aggressive levels. For the picture quality, I'm going to give Bodies, Bodies, Bodies on 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray a B+. The movie has a modest but appreciable 4K picture. Colors look spot on, serviceable black levels, and the good detail is really nicely enhanced with a 4K DI. While not a perfect 4K, I'd still recommend it over the standard blue. For the audio mix, I'm going to score this one a B+ as well. The Dolby Atmos has a solid immersive mix. The typical thriller audio cues have a good presence and some great ambience to round things out. Overall, it's a satisfying listen. So that is my review of Bodies, Bodies, Bodies on 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray. If you're interested in picking up a copy for yourself, I will leave a link in the comments section. If you use it, it really helps out the channel. But if you have the disc already, let me know your thoughts down below. In the meantime, please like, subscribe, hit that bell notification. So until next time, this is Adam with Movie Guy 365. I will see you at the movies.